What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, and that's Southeast Alabama for those of you who are unfamiliar with Enterprise. But today's great news comes from recent releasing of information by Mazda for our Mazda News update. Yes, I know sometimes I pull it out of my head, but this time it's actually from Mazda. And this, of course, happened yesterday, December 1st. We have some big news about Mazda CX-30 Turbo. It's turbo time, baby. That's right. And I wanted to cover that. This is actually just a follow-up to some information that I shared who knows when, month, 2 months ago. So we're going to cover the CX-30, the Turbo, some of the pricing, some of the equipment, some of the packages and trims, and also just a snippet of CX-5 Carbon Edition information. So stay tuned. All right, since we've got a little bit more information to talk about the CX-30, let's go ahead and get the CX-5 news out of the way. So the Mazda CX-5 Carbon Edition is already landed in several places. Of course, it started on my left, the Pacific, your other side, but started on the Pacific, filling in, and yes, there's been some available, and of course we've been through this before. They took one away, and they gave it back to me later, but it skipped a couple of production cycles. So I've got two, that's right, two, a 2.5 liter and a 2.5 turbo, both front wheel drives at port, and updated this week. The accessories are complete, which means that we're probably about 2 weeks away from Carbon Edition, so stay tuned. Those vehicles are going to be making their way to Enterprise, and I'm excited about that, and I appreciate your patience because I know I've been talking about this, and we've seen some pictures. Y'all have shared some with me, seen some online, seen some on Facebook groups, so finally I'll have one here in the metal, metal, leather, to put my hands on, put my flesh on, and show off and talk about. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, let's jump into what we really need to talk about. The 2021 Mazda CX-30 Turbo. That's right, the Turbo. It's turbo time, baby. Mazda did release, and I've got a bunch of notes here, Mazda did release information that follows up to what we already knew, but it's more official now because it's all together from Mazda. So we know that there's going to be 3 trim levels on the CX-30 Turbo, which is really big news because you actually have opportunities to buy a CX-30 Turbo for the same price as a Mazda 3 sedan Turbo. So that base price, of course, is $29,900, not including the destination or delivery charge. So we're talking a little bit over $30,000 if no other options are added. And this CX-30 2.5 turbo entry-level base turbo model is really like the preferred, and we'll go over some of that equipment in just a minute. Then you step up to the turbo premium package, which is something that we don't have on the Mazda 3 because we have the turbo level, then the Premium Plus model. So we're getting a third, or actually a second middle one, which is the Turbo Premium package. Its base MSRP is $32,300. And then we go to the Turbo Premium Plus, which is $33,900. And so you've got 3 great turbo options. The first one that I have coming is actually completely assembled, sitting at the Salamanca port. I hope I said that correctly. And so it's going to be there for a few more days, then load up and head over to the shipping port in America. So that, of course, I have the Turbo Premium, the middle second trim there, package, the Turbo Premium package, which is in Soul Red Crystal with the white leather, and we'll follow up with more white leather conversation in just a minute. So that's the pricing on those. A couple of points a couple of things to point out. The base entry-level, scrape everything away CX-30, the 2.5S entry-level, which we know the 2.5S actually has more equipment than it had last year because you've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. So its base MSRP is $21,900. So we're actually going up about $8,000 to go to the Turbo, which of course is all-wheel drive, and some of the preferred package equipment. So really not too bad when you look at all that stuff, and we're going to jump into a few high points here in just a minute. Also, another thing to point out is that when you go from the all-wheel drive preferred to the turbo, that's $27,700 to $29,900, so a $2,200 price walk to go with the turbo and a few other features, as we will see in just a minute. So let's jump into the equipment here. Of course, the big news to me, and some of you that are interested in some of the appearance factors, is the standard 18-inch black wheels, which will just be amazing. So we have 18-inch black alloy wheels. Also, in conjunction with that, you'll have a black color exterior mirror, which also includes the tilt in reverse, the what? The heated outside mirrors. That's right, I said it. The heated outside mirrors, which we haven't really seen on a vehicle of this frame before. So heated and memory positioning. So the turbo adds black wheels, black mirrors, which are heated, and memory. So we're talking about some of those same preferred options there. And of course, a turbo badge. Couple other things that I've highlighted here. This is going to have leatherette seating, so it's similar to the standard turbo model on the Mazda 3 variants, and also equivalent to the preferred. So 8-way power driver seats included on that. You also have a frameless auto-dimming mirror, interior mirror, which is nice, the rear mirror, and as with other preferred 2021s, the power moonroof. The power glass moonroof. Now, a couple of other things not really to talk about, but the same safety, same security features on this standard turbo features. And what I wanted to talk about next is actually the two add-on packages, so the Turbo Premium and the Turbo Premium Plus. The first thing to talk about is that you have to step up, of course, to Premium to get the Bose system. So we know that. Also in this Turbo Premium, you're going to have a heated steering wheel. Love that heated steering wheel, especially at, well, for us, cold weather this week in the 20s. I know some of you are probably laughing at that, but it's cold for us. Also, Mazda navigation, as other 2021s, is included with that, which picks up traffic sign recognition. Also, you have Sirius added with that Bose satellite radio with a 3-month trial. And not available in Alaska or Hawaii, in case you're watching from Alaska or Hawaii. But that also, with that Mazda navigation, you get 3 years of traffic and travel link, which is pretty neat. So that's the Turbo Premium package. Now, jumping into the Turbo Premium Plus, which, let's go back here, was another $1,600. Not too shabby for some of these features. So you upgrade to an auto-dimming exterior mirror on the driver's side, so much like we see on the Mazda 6. Also a traffic jam assist, which is some new safety technology that you're seeing on some of these vehicles, which is pretty neat. And a home link on that frameless mirror, all the way up to Premium Plus. Previously just an accessory there for home link. And you have parking sensors in the front and rear, which is really cool. And we'll see how that comes into play in just a minute. The 360 view monitor. So you have a 360 camera, which is pretty cool going on this model. And also a rear smart city brake support. Hence the sonar or the sensors. So you have rear smart city brake, which is a new safety feature that we first saw on the CX-9, now available on the CX-30, and also rear cross traffic braking. So again, with some of that extra help of those sensors, you have rear cross traffic braking. So a little more safety minded other than the 360 camera. So let's just take a peek here. So 33.9 plus, I'm assuming all these will be a 1095 destination. So right at 36,000, right at, no, I'm sorry. Where's my math at? Right at $35,000. And that's a pretty good value because this is essentially like a signature CX-5 that is right at 38.5, 38.9, 39,000, somewhere in that range. So it's about $4,000 less for this CX-30 Premium, which is very, very good on pricing considering your standard premium package front-wheel drive. We're right at, let's see, that'd be $29,650 on the premium package front-wheel drive compared to really the Grand Touring for the add-on for the active driving display is like $31,900. So you go from a roughly a $2,500 difference to a $4,000 difference for essentially the CX-30 signature. So you know, pretty good pricing there, I would say. All right, a couple more things to talk about. The last of what I'm going to be covering, actually, as I'm looking through this information, is talking about color. So we know that CX-9, Mazda 6, and CX-5 got carbon editions. Well, everybody was kind of thinking that when this turbo came out that we would have a carbon edition CX-30, or this guy was. I was hoping for a carbon edition CX-30. So here's some interesting things which tells me that that's not completely closed, that idea or that suggestion. We have available on all turbo models the same colors that we love and know. Soul Red Crystal, Deep Crystal Blue, Sonic Silver, Snowflake White Pearl, Polymetal Gray, of course, Machine Gray, and Jet Black Mica. So a couple of things to talk about real quick. You do have both interior colors available on the turbo model, much like the Select. Of course, we only had black to begin with. Now we can order the grays. So you have black and grays, but also worth mentioning that the Polymetal Gray is available on this turbo standard model, where it's not on the preferred. So you have Polymetal Gray and black or grays. The interesting thing is that when you upgrade to the Turbo Premium or the Turbo Premium Plus, those interior colors with all, except, we'll get to that, is black and white. So you do have black and white. No mention of red anywhere. However, the Polymetal Gray does not get the white. So that's something different than the Mazda 3. You can get, and even the 2.5S Premium CX-30 gets the Polymetal Gray with the white. On the turbo models, even on the standard model, you have the option of grayish, everybody's favorite, gray, beige, grayish. However, on the premium, you're not able to get white leather. So that leads me to believe, since every other color gets black or white, that leads me to believe that in another month or so, we may see a carbon edition. We may see red leather. It may be, it's coming. Okay, so who knows, right? Mazda can do what Mazda wants to do. But I do think it's strange that you can get the 2.5S with white leather and you can't the turbo. So something's coming. Maybe it's a late announcement. Maybe they're working on the leather right now to fit the seats, probably. So they haven't made the white available, but they haven't also released the carbon edition. And maybe it'll just be a 2022 thing. Who knows? That's all the information I have on the CX-30 Turbo. It's turbo time, baby. That's right. So it's coming. My first one's supposed to be here maybe 2 weeks to America, 2 weeks to me, maybe 5 weeks. So I think it's going to be a January availability. So if you're looking for one, I've got the first production coming. Of course, they could let it sit at port forever, or they could go ahead and ship them on, but I think it's 4 to 5 weeks away from me at the earliest, which would be after Christmas at the earliest. So a late Christmas present, maybe. Actually, my son Xander's birthday's on the 5th, so it might be in time for Xander's birthday. Photo shoot coming. Thanks for joining me on this one. If you have any questions or comments, as always, drop them below, or you can call or text me at 334-718-0504. I am Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, Alabama. Mazda, Alabama, baby. And I can't wait to see you in a turbo of your own, and I'll catch you on the next one.